Alright, it's Thursday. I'm in my car. I got my notes and I'm chewing on some plastic. So I'm gonna, it's fucking time to talk about random shit. So the first thing I gotta say, we had a chapter of Chainsaw Man, and believe it or not, Chainsaw Man was in the chapter. Surprisingly, that's kind of become a novel concept. Now, I feel like it is important to say, I am still enjoying the manga, despite the lack of Denji and the lack of Chainsaw Man. I like Asa a lot. I like her and Yoru. I love Asa's just constantly awkward, nervous energy. It brings me joy. But when Denji actually showed up in the chapter as Chainsaw Man fighting the Falling Devil, which I really like that devil too, like, holy shit, this thing is terrifying. I was like, I'm happy to see you, buddy. I really am. Go kick ass. So I'm excited to actually, see him do cool shit for a bit. My two big projects, for the month, which is about to still be two projects because we're about to replace one of them, DreamWorks and Fate. We have two movies left. And one of them, I think we're going to watch Bad Guys tonight, and we've already seen Puss in Boots 2. I've seen it twice. Clay has seen it thrice. So we don't have to watch it again for the marathon. We kind of already did. Now we're gonna, because the movie's great. And then I guess I'll do another review of it after we watch it. Like, yeah, so now that I've seen it thrice, this is what I think of the movie. I doubt it's gonna change much, because the first time I saw it, I thought it was fan-fucking-tastic, and the second time I saw it, I thought the exact same thing. But it's kind of wild to think that, yeah, we're already almost done. It would be like a movie a week, maybe every week and a half, and then it was just, no, let's finish this fucking thing every, 2-3 days. Movie. Double feature, blah, 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 blah. Overall, because I do want to do a big DreamWorks video, I'll talk about that as well. DreamWorks to me is definitely peaks and valleys. When they're at a peak, their movies are fantastic. When they're in a slump, though, even, a lot of the slumps, they're not always super bad. I think there are some really weak movies. But a lot of them will just be kind of mid, or, this is a good movie. It just doesn't super click with me. It's like a C+, B, somewhere in that range, which isn't too bad. But it feels like when they hit a slump, it lasts a long time. Like Disney's slump eras have really good movies. The Emperor's New Groove, Lilo and Stitch, Treasure Planet. Those are movies in one of the slump eras. Winnie the Pooh, Fox Robin Hood, which is not a movie I love, but it's a movie I like and I think is a lot of fun. The Rescuers. Those are movies that are in another slump age. And I'm like, these are all kind of bangers. Or at least, maybe let me go and get that out while I'm talking. Movies that I think are actually really good, or at least have a lot of entertainment to them. I feel like when DreamWorks hits a mid-movie, it's not super entertaining. Like the first Madagascar, I think is aggressively okay. I don't hate it. I like the concept in the second half, but then I have to deal with the lemurs, which I just don't think are funny. Or you get movies like Flushed Away, which did not click with me on any level. I don't think it's I don't look at, no, I take that back, because Sir Ian McKellen's frog thing, and then the French Le Frog, I enjoyed that. But our actual main characters and their story and whatnot, I was I am so thoroughly uninvested. Maybe other people are. Maybe for other people, this is their movie. It just doesn't do it for me. And I feel like that's what a DreamWorks slump is. It's just, there's 10 of those in a row where they're just aggressively fine. And I'm in no rush to ever really watch them again. And But when they're good, they're really, really, really good. And we're almost done, and we're going to end on one of those really, really, really good movies. As for Fate, I am very close to being done with the Fate route. I got to another sex scene. I read a little bit before work. I was like, let me try to get some in before work. Wait a second. some of this dialogue isn't being voiced. I know what happened the last time that happened. Where is this going? It's gotta be going where I think it's going. Yep, they're playing the fuck music. Oh boy. It comes a lot less out of nowhere than the first one, which I think is why the first scene is so funny. It's like we're running for our lives. We don't know what we're doing. We don't know what the strategy is. Oh, wait a second. I just remembered. One of the things we can do to make sure she has energy is you can sleep with her. Omegas' semen is full. It's a cluster of magical energy. You can do this. What? Yeah, we have to fuck all night. What? And then they do, and you get to read it, and it's just like so intensely graphic that it's so funny. And what I will say in its defense of it being there is it's actually kind of important, not just the like, yeah, this was the only way we could give our magic to you. It's actually important with Saber and Shiro's relationship after, and how it definitely changes their dynamic, and both of them are aware of it. But neither of them really want to say what the issue is. And I actually do think that is kind of interesting. And the second sex scene is, after some shit has happened, they actually want to make love. And it's actually a pretty sweet scene. It's still funny because of just, again, how weirdly, like, intense and graphic it is. I'm like, man, like, a little bit ago, I was reading this really intense fight. Like, yesterday, I was reading this really intense fight scene. And then, not too long after, there's this really intense, like, fucking horror scene. And in between them, there's, oh gosh, I don't even want to say it. Like, I don't want to say the things I read. Because on the one hand, I'm like, this is, it's like too funny to take seriously. And on the other, like, oh my gosh, I don't want to repeat that. But it's an experience. But I'm almost done with the first route. I know I work tomorrow, I work Sunday, and then I'm taking a day trip Saturday, so I don't know how much time I'm going to have. I would love to finish it by the end of the week. I don't know if that's happening, but the fact that I can say, you know, it is, even if it doesn't happen, it is a realistic possibility to finish by the end of the week, gets me really excited. So hopefully, with like, if I'm giving, let me try that again. If I give Unlimited Blade Works the attention I've been giving the Fate route as of late after finishing Engage, I should probably be able to get both of these routes done by the end of the month. Don't know about Heaven's Feel. We'll see. Hopefully by the end of April or the start of May. But like I said, those are my two in-progress projects. DreamWorks is about to be done, and Clay and I are going to replace it with Tales of the Abyss. We are going to try to play it together. I have tried playing it before. I tried playing it on the 3DS. It didn't super click with me, but it was starting to click with me. I remember getting to a point about a third of the way through, I think it's like the big resonance scene. If you played the game, I think you know what I'm talking about. Like, I think it is like the big scene in the game. I'm just not sure if I'm using the right term. And I remember just kind of putting it down like, this is a good stopping point. I'll pick it back up later. And then I just didn't. I remember not loving the actual gameplay, and I like Tales games. I think it was just playing it on the 3DS felt weird, but playing on a console, we'll see. Now, it is Clay's game, his PlayStation, his TV, so I'm letting him be player one. Like, he's going to play Luke. I'm just going to sit in the back and play Tyr, and then when we get other characters, I really want to try to experiment with them, because I think I basically just played Luke when I played it, so I'm good to really try everyone else. We've only played a very small amount, like we've seen the first cutscene, more or less. So probably though, once we finish DreamWorks officially, like we'll really get on that horse. So a couple movie things to talk about. One, I saw the Mario movie last night. I am going to do a video on it. I will probably do it tomorrow. I'm going to be honest, I just really don't want to do it today. Not that I'm like, man, the movie was so bad, it's so mid, I just don't want to talk about it. I'm like, no, I just have some other things I want to do today, and if I'm going to record on a Thursday, it's got to be my fucking Car Talk video. But I did want to say I have seen it. Video will come soon. I did rewatch which I don't tend to rewatch my videos, or actually like watch my own videos. That feels very weird and kind of narcissistic. But I made sure to watch my video that I made a few months ago saying this is what I think is going to happen in the Mario movie to see how much of that was correct, how much of that wasn't. I won't go into any specifics right now because I don't want to accidentally spoil anything. Now, I will say it is a Mario movie. There's not a lot to really spoil in terms of the plot, but when it comes to things like references, who might show up, music cues, like what happens in the I will say there are 2 end credit scenes. What happens in those are things I don't really want to say now, but of course I will do in the proper video. But my general thought on the movie, it has its problems, and to me the problems are very notable, but I still had a good time. It's a Mario movie. I got to see Jack Black be Bowser. I got to see DK in a movie. I fucking love Donkey Kong. So, like, I had a good time. Is it the best movie I've ever seen? No. I feel like some of the recent DreamWorks movies I've seen were probably just better movies, but I definitely have a soft spot for this. I'm glad I saw it. And speaking of movies, Barbie is coming out in June. I think it's the end of June. So you remember that thing when I think it was when Minions 2 came out? People went to watch the movie wearing suits. I think that's hilarious. I did not do that because I don't really care for Minions. Now, maybe I'll be honest, I haven't actually seen them. They just don't look that funny to me from what I've seen, but maybe if I watched one, I would think this is fantastic. But I really didn't want to go out of my way to pay like $15-20 to watch fucking Minions 2. But I kind of like the idea of dressing up in a nice suit like I'm going to a professional interview to watch Barbie. That to me sounds really funny. I have no idea if this movie is going to be on IMAX. I kind of want to watch it on IMAX just for the meme, just for the concept. But even though I'm saying, like, yeah, I want to wear a nice suit, I want to watch an IMAX for the meme, unironically, I think this movie is going to be great. It's just that weird feeling I have that this is going to be just such a fun time, and it's gonna, I still don't really know what the movie's about. In 2 trailers, they have not shown off a lot of the actual plot. But there is a scene in this latest trailer where Barbie and Ken are driving, and it looks like they're going to the real world, like there's a sign that says real world. So my assumption of the plot is Margot Robbie is a Barbie girl in a Barbie world, but she's about to find out that life in plastic isn't so fantastic. And yeah, for whatever reason, she's going to want to go into the actual real world and escape the Barbie world, and Ken's going to go with her. At least one Ken will go with her, making sure he brings his rollerblades. They're very important. He doesn't leave them anywhere. And I think the movie's called Enchanted, the one where like a Disney princess ends up in the real world. I've never seen it. It was one that always looked interesting to me, but I haven't had a chance to. It might be very similar to that. Like, now that she's in the actual real world, this is what things are like. Does she want to stay? Does she want to go back? What's it going to be like for Ken? Now that a Barbie is missing, how does the rest of the Barbie world react? That's kind of what I'm assuming. But I feel like this movie is going to be just the right amount of self-aware of just how silly it is, but just embracing it and having a great time. I don't think it's going to be one of those movies where the entire time I'm like, this is unfunny. This is just like, oh, we're doing this. I feel like it's going to be a really clever idea. And if I knew a lot more about Barbie and Barbie lore, I'd probably really love it. As someone with a very casual knowledge of Barbie, like, I didn't even know she had a friend named Midge until yesterday. I do think I'm going to have a really good time. So, yeah, I've seen Mario, it was good, and now it's time for me to get really excited about freaking Barbie.